decides whether you live or die? Most of you would say it's fate. But in our world, a pandemic-ridden world, it's Big Pharma, a bunch of companies that make vaccines and medicines. They decide who lives and who dies.
Today we are going to explore Big Pharma conspiracy theories which claim that pharmaceutical companies, especially large corporations, act in sinister and secretive ways, such as concealing effective treatments or even intentionally causing and worsening a wide range of diseases, in pursuit of profitability or for other nefarious reasons. The theory is pharmaceutical companies, regulators, politicians, and others are secretly working in consort against the public interest. People don't trust Big Pharma because of these accusations, but there is a constant lack of evidence to prove that these corporations are 100% guilty. Still, evidence suggests that they are not entirely innocent.
2 years ago, I found out that our prescription drugs are the third leading cause of death after heart disease and cancer. Our drugs kill around 200,000 people in America every year. And half of these people die while they do what their doctors told them.
A significant theory that is often debated is if Big Pharma companies create illnesses so people will have to purchase medicines and receive vaccines. Plus, these elite corporations have no desire to fund research or cure deadly diseases since this would impact their bottom line. Another popular theory includes doctors and Big Pharma. The theories tend to tie together since doctors may be attached to the corporations that are making global medical impacts. Doctors will work under these corporations, protect insurance companies' needs, and possibly not cure people who cannot afford medical attention or specific prescription drugs. Many believe Big Pharma is making us sick since those who can afford medicine often get addicted, experience adverse side effects, or reach overdose. However, what Big Pharma doesn't want you to know is that it is linked to the opioid epidemic. Opioids are highly addictive painkillers that are manufactured and specially designed with the help of opiates which are naturally found in the opium poppy plant. Heroin was banned in 1914, but Big Pharma allowed the demand for OxyContin, a drug that gives very similar effects but in a slower amount of time, to be sold on the market. OxyContin dominated the market, quickly surpassing $1 billion annually in less than 5 years. Purdue Pharma, a Connecticut-based pharmaceutical company, took extreme measures by purposely choosing not as highly trained physicians to prescribe the addictive drug.
They said opioids are not addictive. Big Pharma sent sales representatives to doctors across the US. Their mission was quite simple: convince doctors, make them prescribe heavier doses of opioids. The masters of this art were Purdue Pharma. Their opioid drug was called OxyContin. Purdue claimed OxyContin did not cause addiction. It was a lie. Purdue never held a trial to prove OxyContin was less addictive, and doctors did not bother to check.
There are other instances where big companies played a role in the opioid crisis since there are hundreds of synthetic opioids on the market that are proven to cause physical dependence. Other theories include the cancer cure that was discovered years ago but is kept secret from the public. In this case, more people who are sick will need medicine, funding the Big Pharma companies. In addition, the vaccine conspiracy involving drug companies is a major concern, especially during COVID. In 2020, the global revenue of the pharmaceutical sector was estimated to be $1,265.2 trillion. Yes, trillions of dollars. A recurring conspiracy theory claims that the pharmaceutical industry has a cure for cancer, but suppresses it so that they can continue to make billions on the ineffective treatments currently given to cancer patients. This was believed by 27% of the American public according to a 2005 survey. The argument is that pharmaceutical companies are slowing down research for a comprehensive cure for cancer by developing high-profit, single-purpose treatments rather than focusing on a supposed cure-all for all cancers. How much does Big Pharma make from cancer treatment? Oncology drugs reached $176 billion in sales in 2021, more than double vaccines with $88.6 billion in sales. By 2026, cancer drug sales are expected to almost double to $320.6 billion.
About 37 million people around the world are currently living with AIDS, making the disease one of the worst pandemics in modern history.
HIV, AIDS. Since the beginning of the AIDS epidemic, many dangerous hypotheses have been put forward to explain the origin and nature of the disease. One conspiracy theory claims that AIDS was created by the US government to control and/or wipe out gays and African Americans. Also, there is a cure for HIV/AIDS that is withheld from the poor. Other theories say that although the virus is harmful, the risks of antiretroviral drugs outweigh the benefits. The drugs are said to be toxins that are spread by doctors who have been corrupted by the pharmaceutical industry. In a 2006 column for Harper's Magazine, journalist Celia Farber claimed that the antiretroviral drug nevirapine was part of a conspiracy by the scientific medical complex to spread toxic drugs. Vaccines. The idea that vaccines were created by the pharmaceutical industry to make people sick, or to alter human DNA, has been around for a long time but has been given new life during the COVID-19 pandemic. The conspiracy theory that vaccines make people autistic can be traced back to a study published in The Lancet in February 1998. Andrew Wakefield claimed that there is a link between MMR vaccine and autism. The study later turned out to be fraudulent, and led to Wakefield being struck off the medical register. The Lancet also withdrew the article, although a number of studies have disproved the link between autism and vaccines. The conspiracy theory has survived in various forms. Some modern illnesses that critics contend have been monitored by the major drug companies include erectile dysfunction, female sexual dysfunction, bipolar disorder, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, irritable bowel syndrome, male pattern baldness, acid reflux disease, and restless leg syndrome. Predictably, the pharmaceutical companies assert that their products all have necessary medical applications, and do not agree with the critique of disease-mongering. According to Alan Goldhammer, Associate Vice President for Regulatory Affairs for the Pharmaceutical Research and Manufacturers of America, PHRMA, the industry's main trade group, our industry's job is to look for cures, not to create disease. However, the case can be made that each of the above conditions have been capitalized upon by the various pharmaceutical companies for the sole purpose of creating a lucrative market out of frightened and ill-informed consumers, eager to find a cure for the latest, albeit specious, ailment they've seen on TV. The following is only one example of a successfully mongered disease. Restless leg syndrome, RLS, is a real but relatively rare neurological disorder characterized by an irresistible urge to move one's body to stop uncomfortable or odd sensations. It generally occurs in the legs. Its medical name is Willis-Ekbom disease, and its most commonly associated medical condition is iron deficiency. Very few people have RLS, and more than 60% of those cases are familial, meaning that the disorder is genetically inherited. But many other people are prone to believe that the restlessness in their legs must have a cause other than too much stress, not enough sleep, or too much caffeine or alcohol. For these people, GlaxoSmithKline, the world's second largest drug company, has Requip, ropinirole hydrochloride, a drug originally granted FDA approval for the control of symptoms of Parkinson's disease, but given approval for RLS in May 2005, despite its long list of potentially detrimental side effects, including dizziness, nausea, somnolence, falling asleep, viral infection and hallucinations. Notwithstanding, by the first quarter of 2006, the number of weekly new prescriptions for Requip in the US was 4 times that at the time of product launch, thanks to heavy doses of advertising and free physician samples. In 2005, the sales of Requip were approximately $250 million. In 2006, Requip sales were closing in on $500 million. By 2015, the US market for Requip is estimated to be $1.7 billion. Does RLS exist? Yes. Do millions of people suffer from it? Probably not. Is GlaxoSmithKline making a lot of money on Requip? You betcha.
Our next story is about greed. The greed of Big Pharma, the unrelenting desire to maximize profits at the cost of human life.
American consumers pay more for prescription drugs than any other industrialized nation. That's because Big Pharma has worked with our lawmakers to keep prices higher in the United States than anywhere in the world. This greed is now causing unnecessary deaths by restricting access to medicine.
Democratic presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. retweeted the report, highlighting this fact. In some cases, Americans are being charged 1,000% more than foreign patients for the same drugs.